the Giants storming back from down 17-3. I mean, it was fold the tents and go home. It was get on the bus, fly back to New York, and get ready to play the Ravens without a bye week coming up. Here comes the Giants. They tie it up in the fourth quarter. They storm ahead on that Wildcat run by Saquon Barkley. And I couldn't believe what was happening. And as we got closer to the end of the game, I was doing some other stuff to get ready for our afternoon of watching games for NBC. I was on Matthew Berry's fantasy football pregame show, and it's like, what in the hell? The Giants are up 27-20. Are you kidding me? How did this happen? But that's a testament to the resilience, the toughness, the mindset of the Giants to take that game away from the Packers. That one hurts for the Packers, and it's got to feel pretty damn good for the Giants.
Okay, first of all, Mike, I don't know if you know how the world works, but there's no way for the Giants to get on the bus and drive back to New York. There's this big thing. It's called
I said get on the bus and then fly. I said get on the bus and then fly back. And
are
if
you
I
sure?
said drive,
all right.
it was a misstatement.
Okay, well, I don't know. I mean, we got to give them that commercial and like see what exactly happened there, you know, where they have the instant replay. Anyway, I thought that it was a great win by the Giants too. And I really love what Brian Daboll is building there. I mean, I don't know if the Giants are going to make the playoffs or whatnot, but you see the confidence building in Daniel Jones a little bit. You see what's going on with Saquon Barkley now, who has had an absolute resurgence with his career, which is not something that I saw coming. And especially as a running back. And I think back to my time in covering Todd Gurley and dealing with Todd Gurley and how there was the knee injury, obviously, that he had before he even got to the NFL. But then in that 2018 season, he kind of suffered another knee injury and it was basically just over for him. And so to see Saquon Barkley come back from the injury issues that he's had and run as effectively as he is running, I mean, that dude is really, really doing it right now. And the Giants have something going, man. They really do. And I think it's impressive when you can go down the field, you can punch the Packers in the mouth as they did. And the Packers just did not have a good enough response to get themselves back into that game. So yeah, credit Brian Daboll a lot because that is tough to go across the pond like that and beat a team that you're really not supposed to beat.
They've already won 4 games this year. They're one of 3 teams in the NFC East with 4 or more wins. It's just crazy when you see it. 4-1 Giants, 4-1 Cowboys, 5-0 Eagles. They've matched, the Giants have, their victory total from last season. They were 4-13, and they are just getting it done. Through a rash of injuries, through all sorts of adversity, you got to pack up the operation and take it by plane to England, and then you got to come home by plane and play the Ravens next week. And I spoke to Brian Daboll after the game, and he said he's trying to instill within the organization at every level for every person a refusal to ever rely on the built-in excuses that are always there. Any excuse for not performing, that is going to be ignored, and you're just going to go get it done. And that's exactly what they did. And to the extent that he can get everyone to accept that, that's a very Belichickian mindset. And I asked him if he got it from Belichick because he spent some time in New England. He said he got it from his grandmother, that's the way she always was. That's the standard she always impressed upon him. And that's the standard he's now living his life by. And it makes sense because there's always going to be something. If you don't want to give out maximum effort in every occasion, there's always going to be something you can point to and say, here's why I didn't get it done. Here's why I didn't feel like getting it done. This was against me. That was against me. It's not my day. Woe is me. And down 17-3 to the Packers with that stadium full of cheeseheads, the Giants did to the Packers what that group of British fans was chanting out in the parking lot before the game, if you saw that on social media, what the Packers should do with that cheese. Which was something. I was going to ask Matt Casey if we could use that last night on Football Night in America, but too much of it would have had to have been bleeped.
That was awesome. I hope people go, if you haven't seen it, go find it on social media and they're telling them where to shove that cheese. But yeah, you know what's funny about the Packers? Yeah, I don't understand what's going on right now with dudes getting balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. But why is it that everybody looks like Baker Mayfield? I mean, Jason Pierre-Paul is making Joe Burrow look like Baker Mayfield last night. Aaron Rodgers looks like Baker Mayfield on 3rd and 2 and 4th and 2. How come these dudes can complete passes anymore? What's going on? Find the angles. I mean, I guess it's credit to these defenders, right? These defensive linemen, these linebackers, front seven folks, whoever they happen to be, or they're getting their hands up and they're batting balls down if they don't get there. But my goodness, man, it's 3rd and 2. Let's go.
Well, and the other part of it, too, it's hard to really delve into the aftermath of that early morning game because we instantly have more chocolates rolling down the assembly line at 1 o'clock. There were 9 games on yesterday.
I love Lucy.
But Aaron Jones flat out said after the game, why aren't we running the ball? Not in those words, but that was his message. Between me and A.J. Dillon, we're getting that first down. If we run it, why are we throwing it twice in those spots and to have it batted twice? And Aaron Rodgers is a normal-sized quarterback, not a normal-sized human. The problem is we got too many normal-sized humans playing quarterback in the NFL, and the ball gets batted down because they're trying to throw the ball in and around oak trees out there in the form of the offensive and defensive linemen that are there to either be avoided or deliberately trying to knock the ball down. And to see Rodgers do it twice was odd because he's big enough that he should be able to avoid that happening, but that's what happened.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.